All right, welcome to the Take Your Health Back Now podcast. We're here with Kendra Duquette and Jenny Wise. We wanted to jump in this week and talk about some of our programs. Kendra was recently at the National Health Federation conference and gala down in Texas, and she got to interact with a lot of people there, had a lot of questions about what do you do?
Right.
We realized we haven't really talked about this in full in a podcast, and we haven't really mentioned it in a while either in any kind of detail. So we are just going to kind of jump in and talk about what our preventative health uh, training and certification so that you can become a practitioner. We've got a couple other new programs that we are bringing out shortly, things that have been in the works for a long time that we had some more interest in lately, so we'll mention those as well. If this is something that you are interested, make sure you reach out. We are launching the registration for our next cohort today. Happy May Day. So if you're interested, definitely reach out because those seats are limited. If you are a practitioner who has a few employees and you're looking for a system to get everybody on the same page, we also have that. So stick with us and take a listen and learn about what we do.
Yes. So welcome. Yes, May Day. So before we launch into our own programs, think about if you're into numbers, that's a real thing. If you look up the number 5-1, that's today, and it's all about new beginnings, right? And so that's a big one today. And then also last night or this morning was a full moon, which is all about end of cycles and releasing what no longer serves you. So we're very excited today to talk about PHP because it is so important. So after going to the conference this weekend, there's so much going on. It's kind of what we've been talking about in the last few podcasts. There's so much exploding this year. Just some crazy stuff that we're moving into. And this preventative health practitioner certification we have, the preventative health lifestyle that we teach is so important. And that foundationally has not changed. And it is still the answer moving forward. And really now more than ever with all of this crazy techno AI, not real situation that we're stepping into is so important. So we want to make sure that we really verbalize what it is that we do and so that you can make an informed decision if you want to work with us and get certified and become a preventive health practitioner, because people need this more than ever. They literally don't know how to live this lifestyle that we teach. So we're just going to kind of deep dive into it. This is not a live, obviously, so you can't ask questions, but afterwards, if you have questions, reach out. You can always set up a discovery call with us and we can go over it further. But now we'll just kind of jump in.
Yes, and just one more thing
Yeah.
before we jump in, like Kendra mentioned, she was speaking on a lot of the biotechnology versus biology, that side of things, where things are going. And we do have that on our YouTube channel. It's not
Yes.
in the podcast platform. So if you're just on podcast platforms, go over to our YouTube channel and check that out. It is a video recording of Kendra's speech and very, very important topic right now. Fairly short for something that we do, so it's a good listen.
I had to zoom through it, but it's such a huge, huge topic. And these are the type of things that we teach. If you work with us, this is the type of thing you'll learn, and you're not going to learn it anywhere else. But yet, it is literally what humanity is stepping into right now, and people do not know. So, yeah, definitely listen to that and check it out. And we did make up a document, so a research document, so that it will help people, look for the stuff because it's not labeled.
Right.
There's just no way to find it unless you research like crazy like we have. So if you want that, you can always reach out to us and we can email you a copy of that
Right.
just for reference. Also, that's just something when you work with us, when you become a preventive health practitioner, you have documents like that are already made that we've made for you. And
Right.
then you can, use with your own clients to empower them, because remember, we always come from a place of empowerment, so that, you don't have to be so scared of what we're stepping into. You can be empowered to avoid it, and then be as healthy as possible to navigate through this. So,
Yes.
yeah, definitely listen to that, because one other thing on that topic, nobody's getting a free pass out of this. We're literally talking about was that you have a choice to make whether you're going to stay the biology side, which was what I was talking about, or walk into this biotechnology, which is all, you become transhuman. It's this crazy road that they're kind of pushing us into. So if you're not informed, you don't have you can't make an informed decision, and then they're just going to usher you right into that direction. So definitely listen and then share with people, because everyone needs to know this information.
Right.
So,
Yes. So, I guess we could just give a high level overview of how our one-on-one program, where we work with people who are looking to get healthy and learn how to live in our unhealthy world, just, for themselves, how that fits in with the preventative health practitioner certification, and then what little other paths you can take, and then we'll just dive into the general PHP program itself. So, Take Your Health Back Now is our system. That is what we developed over years of research. We have, clinical research, one-on-one with patients, just working with all different kinds of people, seeing them create that positive change in their life, taking all of that information, looking at commonalities, and looking at what helped people move forward fastest and with the most optimal results. We put all that together. So that is the Take Your Health Back Now system. And that is for a person to work with a practitioner and to get healthy, stay healthy, reverse chronic symptoms, prevent future disease. And it's all a root cause approach in the right way, not in the crazy way.
it's built, if you think about everybody wants testing right now. That's so important, the data piece of it. But our program, what Jenny was just describing, is built on testing, that
Right.
every single person that we worked with in private practice had these functional testing, and then we looked at the commonalities that every single person was showing up with on their testing. So no matter what symptoms they were experiencing that they came to us with, the commonalities that they were, like leaky gut, dysbiosis, inflammation, vitamin deficiencies, all kinds of things, 100% of the patients were having. So
Right.
this system is built on clinical data that you don't even need testing, because if you have symptoms, we 100% know that you are experiencing those underlying metabolic issues.
Right. One of the things when we were working with people in the clinic over the years, a big inhibitor for getting better is cost. I'm
Right.
sure a lot of people can relate to that. So we tried to look and see like where is the cost coming from and what are costs that we can just take away. And the testing is one of those things. Like we had so much information, experience, data that we're able to take that testing out of the equation and still get the same results because we already have so much data built up. I feel like we were doing testing back then when other people weren't. And now other people have caught up and everybody wants the testing, but we're like beyond that now. Of course, the testing is available, but again, it's a cost that you don't need. So our program is built to get the results without that. And it works. Of course, like we always say, there's 3 to 5% of people have outlying kind of things that aren't in this majority of what's going on. Even those people we can work with, it may just be a little slower. Um, we teach you how to become a health detective so you can uncover those outliers that may not be exactly 100% in what we usually see.
Right. And it's interesting because all chronic disease, it's so hard for people to wrap their mind around, but all chronic
Yeah.
disease, all chronic symptoms, no matter what people are experiencing, is happening by these external toxins, your external stressors, your generational trauma, your lifestyle, what you're eating, where your food is coming from, the movement you're getting in, all of these external things. That's what causes this metabolic dysfunction within the body, which then causes symptoms. So something different about our program that we focus on is you have to, and it's not even just that it's our program, it's literally the only way to turn around your symptoms, but also prevent symptoms from coming back. So you can take a Band-Aid fix and make symptoms disappear, but it's not preventing anything because it didn't fix anything. So what we do is we actually fix that root cause so that it prevents dysfunction in the future. But what was I going to say? I got sidetracked on what I was talking about.
That's our program. That it's not just something that we created. It's really the way to be healthy. It's not really new. It's just that no one teaches people this. Intuitively, we should understand that, but because of lifestyle, most people have lost that kind of intuitive connection, and we're just bombarded with all the stuff that's out of our control. So at this point, in humanity, you really do need someone to kind of hold your hand and guide you through that initial phase of getting rid of those external interferences, understanding what you have control over, understanding how to deal with the things you don't have control over. We're not healing you. We're giving you the steps so that your body can heal itself.
Right. The whole thing comes down to the body has this innate ability to heal itself if you take away the interference and give it what it needs. And that's what we do. But it's hard for people to wrap their mind around that it really is a lifestyle choice and a long-term lifestyle change that causes, and another thing, what I was talking about at the conference is biotechnology. So a lot of that went into the peptides, like that we've been talking about in the past couple podcasts, the stem cell therapies, all of these things that even though, they're not a pharmaceutical quick fix, they're not a supplemental quick fix, they're natural longevity, but they're still a quick fix that really doesn't fix anything. So, it's just a really big mind shift for people to understand. But this is something that every practitioner needs this in their practice, no matter what they are doing, holistic, naturopath, chiropractor, whether you're a health coach, whether you're just getting into this field, everybody needs this because every person needs this to empower themselves moving forward into this very technology centered space that they're ushering us into. Because it's very natural focused, nature focused, bringing you back to life, which is we are part of life and you have to be connected to life. I mean, it sounds so simple and, but it's really the only way forward. So we deal with people, that are experiencing chronic symptoms, right?
Yes.
That's what the practitioners that we teach, that's what their clients are going through. All kinds of chronic symptoms, whether they just have, random headaches, pain, memory loss, brain fog, anxiety, things like that, or they have a diagnosed symptom or, a diagnosis of a condition, that kind of thing. It's all the same, right? So that's what the practitioners would be working with. But a big problem that we work with the actual practitioners themselves, it's because they don't have a system. A lot of times they, maybe you have different certifications, but you still don't know quite what to do. Or maybe your certification you got is very general and you don't have a plan moving forward with your clients, or maybe you're spending way too much time on each client, trying to figure out what they particular need to turn around their symptoms. So what we offer is a roadmap, a proven system. All you have to do is learn the steps, and then you plug your client into it, and they go through the steps, and then they get this replicable outcome. So that is something that's very different that we do with our program than anybody else out there. Almost like a franchise, but not quite a franchise.
Kind of like what you said earlier about the Take Your Health Back Now system, and that people are, it's hard to believe because it sounds so simple, but I think a lot of times people equate simple with easy. That is not always true.
Not easy.
We have these simple solutions to, get truly healthy. And we have this simple program to become a practitioner and to make this change in other people's lives and build this, thriving business of your own, or expand your business if you already have it. These things are simple, but the steps aren't easy. If they were super easy, everyone would just be doing it already. We'd all be super healthy. We'd all be really wealthy. We'd love our lives.
Right.
It's easy. So there's hard work, and you have to commit to it. Like Kendra said, this is lifestyle change. If you are a client and if you are looking to train and become a practitioner, that is a component of it. So our preventative health practitioner training requires that you go through it as a client first. So that is the first 3 months or so. And then after that, we train you from kind of the back end on how our system was put together, how to coach clients, business building, that type of thing. So it is definitely work, and it's a commitment, but it's simple.
And it's life-changing.
Yes.
And it just is. But that's the main thing. It's a roadmap. So I always use the example of, if you're going on vacation, you have to know where you're going before you map out the steps to get there. So you have to, know your plan. And then our system, our program, is the map to get to that end goal. Right. And another thing with what our system does, yes, it gives you replicable, successful results every single time if your client does it. But the thing is, you have to be willing to use somebody else's system. So our system was developed for our own clients. It works every single time if you do it, but you can't then incorporate in your own stuff. If you do something like acupuncture, chiropractic, energy therapy, energy healing, herbals, anything like that, that's a really nice complement to what we do, but ours is more the foundational level. But you can't, what I'm saying is, you can't then bring in your keto diet program into ours, or if you have your own program that you use with your clients, you can't bring it into ours, or ours isn't going to work. So this will only be good for people who really want to learn a system that works and will utilize that system, if that makes sense.
It is a proven system in its entirety. It needs every single piece and every single step in order to work. So no one gets to skip steps. Having that background is great, because then you have you're already informed when you're coming in and learning why we chose this and why we chose that. And that's great. But you have to be willing to keep that information that you already have and kind of just filter that through our program and how you're coaching people, but you don't get to make changes to what we do.
Right, because it works. I mean, I always use the example of a blueberry muffin. So if you're making a blueberry muffin, you follow the steps, you get the blueberry muffin. If you change the steps, you're not going to get a blueberry muffin. Maybe you change the steps and now the blueberry muffin is actually a date treat.
Right.
It's a chocolate,
or it's a cobbler, or it's granola.
Because you've changed the steps. So if you want that end outcome, which is the successful, the success for your clients, eliminating symptoms, you have to use our steps. And also moving into this, if you go back and watch my talk, a big part of this is the longevity movement. So we've been talking about that on the last couple of podcasts, the longevity movement, the regenerative health space, but it's all this biotechnology stuff. And I found it really interesting at the conference talking to people one-on-one. So I did my talk. People were like, yes, I didn't know this was amazing. Thank you for talking on this. They came out and they were talking to me. This is, just such good information, yada, yada, yada. And then I found it interesting that there were some people around me that had booths that were actually selling this biotechnology, longevity medicine products, which I had just talked about. But people would come up to me and say, thank you for that information. I didn't even know about this. And then they'd turn around and start talking to these people that were selling it. And they're like, yes, please put that stem cell patch on me because it's a quick fix and it will fix all of my problems right now. And so it's that there's this, nobody wants to admit it, but I think everyone has this where they want the quick fix. And so they believe in whatever that quick fix is. So if it's a stem cell patch that's going to make your skin better and give you energy within 4 minutes and heal all of your problems, that's what they were selling. Or, it's an agricultural product that's going to take the place of glyphosate and be used in regenerative farming, but actually it's biotech, but it's a quick fix. There's all these things. It's a quick fix. It's just the human nature that wants that quick fix. That is not what we do.
No, I think that that's an important distinction is that we want people to come to our community and become part of this movement who are really committed to actually living this lifestyle. There's a lot of people, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone. If this is you, that's fine. Just maybe this program's not for you. That they have a concept of themselves and they're like, yes, I am, I'm natural, I'm healthy, I do a great job. That's who I am. I pick the best choice all the time. But then they're like, oh, this is new and shiny. Let me try it. And they don't really think about it or they don't want to think about it because it's easier. So there's definitely a difference between the way you put yourself out there and the way you actually live, or the way you perceive yourself. So we want people who are going to really live this lifestyle. There's a lot of information out there. It can be overwhelming. That's another great part of what we do. Once you earn your certification, you're not just out there on your own, with all this great information in your toolkit. Just figure it out. Do what you'll do. We want to keep you in our community. We're always updating. We're always researching. If you have listened to any of our podcasts before that, you probably already know that. So we like to keep everyone in our community up to date. So we take some of that pressure off of you to be doing all of the things, all of the research and the updating and this new stuff that your clients want to know about. We handle that side of things so that you don't have to. That's part of the proven system. That's part of the platform that your clients get into. That's part of what makes it replicable. And it's a really great piece that there's not that I know of any other certifications that do that. But you have to be willing to listen to what we found, make changes that need to be changed, and really believe what's coming through.
Right. And really this longevity and regenerative space, like I've been talking about there, the people that have always been in our space in the functional realm, the holistic realm, they're jumping on this bandwagon, and it is just nothing about it is actually natural. And they're using words that we've always used, like preventative, proactive approach, longevity, regenerative, epigenetics. And so as a practitioner, like what Jenny was saying, it's really hard to keep up on this stuff because it sounds exactly like we've always talked about. And so being in a group of like-minded people that are doing the research that can share this knowledge, that's a huge piece moving forward. Because it's hard to navigate this on your own, because it does sound so amazing. And your clients will be coming to you and asking you about peptides and stem cell therapy and plasma therapy and, all these crazy things right now. And you have to be able to talk to that, and it is hard to keep up with on your own. And that is what we do. So that is also a big part of it. Also, just anything that is holding you back. So anything that's holding you back, like feeling like, we talk about this a lot. If you have imposter syndrome, or you just feel like maybe you don't have enough information to, who am I to be teaching these people, that type of thing. Or maybe you are stuck on making your logo, or maybe you're stuck on a website, or, all of those type of things that just are really little pieces, but will really hold you back. It holds so many people back from even ever starting. And so that's part of what we do too, is we give you all of that so that won't hold you back, so that you can get out there and start helping people, because people need so much help. So many people need this now more than ever. So that's another piece of this, what we offer on the business side of things.
Right. So I guess to kind of just interject here and recap what we've talked about, we have it's set up to be a 3-month, 90-day program for clients. It helps them to reverse chronic symptoms, really get that foundation of health, gives them the tools they need to move forward, prevent future disease, thrive. That program is what Preventative Health Practitioner is built on. So that is 6 months. The first part is what we just talked about. The second half is learning from our point of view, a practitioner point of view, how to coach clients, how to build a business, how to use our platform, all of those things. And we have you get out there and really start doing branding, business marketing while you're in that second phase. So that way, at the end of your training, you take your certification test, hopefully you pass, and then you're ready immediately to take clients. And not just ready in that you are allowed to, but ready in that you feel confident, you have the tools, you're not feeling like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? I don't even know how to talk to people. How do I take a payment? Where do I put them? Like, we take care of all of that. So you have the ability and the confidence to really actually launch at that point. So that's what we do with those. We also have the ability as a practitioner for you to bring in people who are under you, employees, so they can do kind of a blend of the certification. So they don't need to learn about business building because they're already in your business, but you're kind of sponsoring them to learn the system and the coaching, so that you can be certified and then they can be under you on your team.
Right. A lot of practitioners are interested in this, incorporating it into their practice, but they don't necessarily have the time to be then coaching one-on-one with their clients. So they can, have one of their employees do the coaching with the clients. So, but they don't, like Jenny said, they don't need the business side of things. They're not going to go out and then start a business doing this. But within your coaching practice, say you're a chiropractor and you want to offer this to your patients that are having chronic disease of some kind, you can have one of your people become a certified coach, and then they can do the coaching, the one-on-one piece for you. So that's another option. Something else that I was just going to interject what Jenny had just said at the end, when you get certified, we're not selling certifications, so you don't get certified online like other coaching or practitioner programs. You actually have to come to an in-person event. So that's investing in yourself. Anytime you're investing in yourself, that's a huge piece. So you're investing in yourself to come to us. We spend a really immersive weekend, deep diving into everything about the practitioner certification so that you for sure have everything in place. You know all of this, you have no questions, and then you get certified that weekend. And then the other thing is we are board certified. So because our program is so comprehensive, you just need to submit your certification from us, and then you will become board certified through the American Association of Natural Wellness Practitioners. So
Yes.
that's an extra bonus. A lot of these programs are board certified, but you have to sit for the board, test. You have to study and take this big test to get board certified. But like I said, because ours is so comprehensive, you just show them that you are certified through us, and you automatically get that extra certification. So that's cool bonus.
Right, because we do give you a lot of information. It's not just, a couple weeks that you take this information and study on your own, and then you take an online test to get the certification. It really is very in-depth. It's hands-on. We want to be one-on-one with as much as possible with the groups, with the cohorts, one-on-one, making sure that everybody really understands and has the tools. This is what we did when we were one-on-one with clients. We wanted to empower people and not just say, hey, go eat this food for a couple months and you'll feel better. We want to make sure they understand why and they have those habits and they can continue and move it forward. So it's all about empowerment. I would say that you don't have to come to certification, you get to come to certification.
Exactly. You get to,
Yes,
because they're fun.
it
We've never
is.
had one person say they regretted having getting. We have a good time,
Yes.
but people leave feeling like they don't have questions. I mean, that's a
Right.
whole idea, because so many different certifications or, just different modalities of courses, whatever you go through, you're kind of left with that feeling, okay, now what do I do? Or, you don't feel confident moving forward, but we really want you to feel confident, because the whole goal is to help as many people as possible, because people really, really more than ever right now need this. They need help. And they need the knowledge moving forward. So of course we think our certification is the very best in the whole world.
Right. Like there are several aspects of what we do that we have not seen in other programs, other trainings, or other certifications, even in our Take Your Health Back Now system with one-on-one clients. There's pieces of that we don't see out there. So, obviously we've done the work and we've put this together. And yes, it is possible for you to take all the information out there, synthesize it, put something together, and get a good program that works for your clients every time. But it's a lot of work, and we're trying to save those steps. So for now, as far as we know, you're stuck with us if this is the type of program that you'd like, because we're really the only ones offering every single piece of this. And we're not doing it, like Kendra said, just to sell certifications. We're really doing it to build a community, move everybody forward with true health and wellness, get that information out there so that you're not just caught up in this tide, not able to make informed decisions for yourself. It's a big goal, but we need some other people on our team to move forward. So that's kind of why we moved out of that one-on-one space and into the training and certification space so that we could empower other people to go out there and make a bigger impact than we could on our own.
So are we going to tell them about our new programs that we're launching too?
Yes.
Okay. So besides the coaching, if you become a preventive health practitioner, you can have coaches in your practice. Also, we call it our mini course. It's basically designed for people that are maybe in the health coaching space and are just something is holding them back, whether it's like I mentioned, the imposter syndrome or whatever, that kind of thing. Just we kind of put the systems in place that you need to actually launch your business. So that's just a small kind of business systems general course that we have coming out. And then also this longevity space is all about aging in reverse, youthfulness, energy, strength, thriving, all of these things, which are nice words, but we have a course that we're putting together that actually teach you how to do this naturally. So you are aging, and you really are aging in reverse. You're biological aging rather than chronological aging. You're working with the body's innate ability to heal itself. Everything is natural. You're not using any of these magic bullet systems or treatments or whatever it is. So it's all about it. Just, I don't even know what we're going to call it yet, but essentially the idea is aging in reverse and preventing any of these symptoms coming on. So this would be more for people that are feeling pretty good now and just want to feel better and better, look better and better. If you've got a lot of chronic issues going on, then more what we teach with the Preventive Health Practitioner program, you want to work with a Preventive Health Practitioner or go through the program to heal yourself first. That would be more the in-depth training. So we have these little, extra courses, programs that are coming out that we're excited about, which should be launching this month at some point. So stay tuned.
Yes, we are kind of wrapping up the little things we need to put these together to make them available to people. Basically, we wanted a way for people to jump in and work with us without taking these big, huge commitments. So if you're ready to launch a business, if you're ready to improve the business you've already started, that's the Preventative Health Practitioner training, and that's a big commitment. You are welcome to just jump right into that. We love people that can just make a decision. But we understand that, time, money, effort, those are all things that people keep, they're precious to everybody. So if you want to see what we're about, if you want to see kind of how our training style works, get inside the programs, get a little taste of what we do, low commitment, but big outcome. Then we're going to have the mini course, which is focused on people looking to the business side of things. And like Kendra said, we're going to have the aging in reverse, anti-aging. We haven't decided. If you have a good suggestion on what to call this, let us know. Because basically we want to teach people those foundational steps that we do that help you, age, like Kendra was saying, in reverse. So natural, healthy ways to do all these things that all the chemicals and toxins and things are promoting. That is if you are just interested in that piece, or you are looking into the health side of things as a client and you're not quite sure if you're ready for the whole big thing. So just little ways that you can get into our ecosystem. You can try our programs out for little to no cost. There is some time commitment. Obviously, the more effort you put in, the more you're going to get out. We can't do that for you. So look for those in the next couple weeks to a month. They should be launching. I'm sure we'll talk about them again. But, these are the things when we talk to people and we hear what it is that they want or what is stopping them from moving forward with us. They love us. They're in the community. They're listening to everything that we do. They want to work with us, but they haven't quite done it. This is why. So we wanted to put more stuff out there for you guys that you can access and that will give you some great information, some great results. We're excited. We love giving things to people.
And again, it's more important now than ever. You have to, if you think about whether you're coming from the aspect of, you have symptoms of some kind, or just that you feel like you're at this age, and you're aging, you're looking, you've got wrinkles, whatever it is. All of that comes from the external environment, like I mentioned before, which then causes internal dysfunction within the body, which then causes symptoms, which could be the wrinkles, or people are getting, oh, my hip, or oh, my knees are giving out, or now I've got all these symptoms, whatever it is. Aging is from those external environments causing internal dysfunction. So what we do is Well, we always say we address the internal environment as well as the external environment simultaneously. And then you really eliminate all of that. There's no reason you can't live to 120 thriving. That is our goal. Oh, hello, Kat. But that is our goal with everything that we do. You should be feeling amazing for your lifetime. And that is really what we do in any of these programs, but we want you to be doing it instead of just kind of sitting on the fence spinning your wheels. So we just want to put out all the things today because it's May Day and we're excited. And so yeah, look for everything coming up, and definitely go back and look at my talk from the conference because it's really important. And I would just say, encourage you to become a member of the National Health Federation too, because the information that was at the conference, amazing, not just what I was talking about, what everybody was talking about. And they have a magazine, they're always putting out really good information that's pertinent and important for what is happening right now. And there is some crazy stuff moving forward, and you need to know, and you need to be informed, and you need to be empowered, which is what we do, so you can ride the wave.
Yeah. All right. Some important information that we did not say. We are opening up seats for the next cohort for preventative health practitioner certification and training. So if you are looking for that, book your discovery call as soon as possible. That is about a half hour. We have you fill out some information ahead of time so that that call can be worthwhile. We're not just chit-chatting. And then we kind of just go through it and decide if this is a good fit for you. It's not like a high pressure sales call. It's just informative for you and for us, because we want to make sure that the people we're bringing in are people that we want in our community. So, and then that will actually start August and then 6 months. So beginning of February, I don't have the exact dates right in front of me. Sorry, I should have. But early August and then early February, you would be certified and launched. So at the beginning of the new year, you would have a business and you would be taking clients and moving forward. We kind of set that up so that the holidays would not interfere. So it goes over the holidays, but there wouldn't be anything super intensive during that end of the year period.
Right. And it also, what I said about, if you're going on vacation, you need to know where you're going and then set up the plan to get there. It's kind of the same. If you think about if you're wanting to launch a business, helping people heal. If you think about the first of the year, that's a great time to be launching a business because that's when all of a sudden they have the mindset, oh, I've got to do something, New Year's resolutions, that type of thing. So if you sign up for our cohort this time, right now, which is open, then you'll be launching right at the beginning of the year, beginning of February. I think it might be the 3rd through the 5th. I'm not sure. But anyway, you can start promoting it in January when people are thinking about New Year's resolutions, talking about how you help people, and we'll help you with all of that. But then you're ready to go and people are like, yes, please, But think about that long-term 6-month goal too, if you're really serious about setting up your business. Sorry about
that. If you're not quite sure if that's what you want to jump into, you're not ready for a discovery call yet, then keep an eye out for that mini course. We had it open, kind of a beta launch of it. So we've closed it up to take all the feedback, tweak some things. We're going to redo a bit, and then it should be launched in the next couple of weeks to a month. So keep an eye out for that. And that's a great way to jump in. It kind of just helps you to clarify what your goals are. Do you want to do this business? Do you have the things in place to take that next step? It's great information. It'll give you a lot of good knowledge that you don't necessarily have to take our certification to implement, but if you love it and you want to take the next step, then you can from there move into certification. We do keep them fairly small because there's just 2 of us. It is an in-person requirement at the end, so it's not something that you want to wait till mid-July to think about. The earlier you can save your seat, the better. And then if you are here and you love all this information, but you're like, I'm retired, or I love my job, or this isn't for me, but I love what you're doing, and you know someone who is in this space or this could help, then just please share with them so that we can get this information out there.
If you have any questions, reach out. Always like, share, do all the things.
Yes, that always helps us, and we appreciate that. And if you have any questions about where to find the information we talked about, if you would like that document that goes with the YouTube video, just reach out directly on any of our platforms. We're all over the place, and we will get that to you. And we will see you next week for another podcast.
Good. Bye.
Bye.